Will all currencies survive? No. The weak ones, the ones that are truly defective, will go away. 66 countries are dollarized. Mm-hmm. There's 180 countries in the world. How many currencies do we really need? My idea is we incrementally upgrade everything everywhere for everybody in the most peaceful, least painful, least jarring way, right? So the incremental upgrade means we deploy to 8 billion people, to everybody on the planet, we deploy digital wallets. In the wallet, you have a set of currencies and a set of assets. And in that wallet in Argentina, you've got your peso and you've got your dollar as currencies. If you want to hold something for a day, you hold a peso. If you want to hold it for a month, you hold a dollar. If you want to hold it for a lifetime, you hold Bitcoin, right? You've got digital assets. Bitcoin is the strongest digital asset. Is it the only asset? No, because you've got a company, there are buildings, there's Apple. I still like Google. I want my YouTube. I like Netflix, right? We need Domino's pizza. We need Bitcoin pizza. Someone's got to manufacture the cameras that are staring at us right now. We've got a microphone. We can't just have one asset. We have multiple assets. We have multiple currencies. Will all currencies survive? No. The weak ones, the ones that are truly defective, will go away. 66 countries are dollarized. Mm-hmm. There's 180 countries in the world. How many currencies do we really need? Right? Right now it's China and the USD, right? You might actually collapse down to 2, but more likely you'll have the yen and you'll have the euro and you'll have the dollar. Is there any currency in Africa that you really want to hold more than the dollar if you had the freedom of choice? Not really. What will you do though? You need the local currency for local payments, right? If there's a strong local government, you need the local currency to pay your tax bills because it's mandated by law. You need the global currency, and let's call the US the global reserve digital currency, the global reserve currency. You need that as a medium of exchange. If you want to buy something in Argentina from someone in Brazil, or you want to buy something in Africa from someone in Venezuela, you're probably going to swap dollars, right? Why? Because there's 100 million companies, Pomp, that have invested 30 years to create accounting systems and point of sale systems to process billions and billions of transactions in those currencies. Like my company does it. I can actually swap my balance sheet to Bitcoin using 3 people, and I can do that in a matter of weeks. Swapping all of my vendor payments, all of my payroll, and all of my receivables into Bitcoin, that would be 1 billion times harder, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's not worth 1 billion times more stress and effort. It's just not worth it, right? In an inflationary environment, money decomposes into a currency layer, which is losing value hopefully slowly. If your currency lost value at 1% a month, but your asset gained value at 15, 20% a year, that's stable. Now, do we need to replace it? Not this decade, right? I'm not going to speculate 30, 40, 50 years out, but I rather kind of feel like a more nuanced idea. Here's a nuanced idea. I want to build the 21st century economy on a strong foundation of integrity and trust and thermodynamic soundness and energy, pure energy. So that means the balance sheet, the foundation of every institution should be built on Bitcoin. But every institution has its own derivative, its own security from Bitcoin. So when you create your company, if you want to take your company public, you should be able to issue stocks and stock options backed by Bitcoin. I'm not denying that. If Turkey goes and they buys billions of dollars of Bitcoin, they can keep the currency. They would be backing the currency with a hard asset. How many institutions are there in the world that need some control? Like maybe if I said to you can't issue stock in a company, is that good for the economy? Not really. If I said no country can print its own currency, is that good? Probably not really, right? Because the politicians need some power over the currency, right? I mean, unless you come up with a way to generate all the food and all the products that we need without companies and without countries, like when you figure that out, that's like a utopian idea, then maybe you can live with Bitcoin only and the like. But in the meantime, which is like, let's just focus on the next decade, because there's no point in solving this problem after the year 2030, right?
Yeah.
Right? Focus on the next decade. The next decade, it works like this. All the big banks issue USD stablecoins. What happens? The US dollar replaces all the weak currencies and it grows in strength, right? The US dollar can become the daily currency of 6 billion people. Right now, analog dollars in the 20th century banking system is the reserve currency of the world, but it's an awful, inefficient system, right?
Yeah.
How do you send $100 to someone on Saturday afternoon if they live in Africa, if you live in South America? Send someone to a friend of yours in Paris on a Tuesday. I dare you, right? So the point right now is the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, but it's running on 20th century rails. So the US dollar should evolve to run on crypto rails. It should run on, we can debate, right? Lightning rails, what's up rails, any other crypto, right? Interesting question. But what we can't debate, which is 100% certain, is everybody wants to be able to move the money at the speed of light and program it on a computer chip on a Saturday afternoon. Sometimes we get in this confrontational state where people think, well, it's Bitcoin versus the Fed or Bitcoin versus the dollar. It's not, right? We can all win, right? It's a win-win here. It's in the best interest of the dollar to move at the speed of light and be programmable. And there's 100 million businesses that want to do business in the dollar. And I am the controlling shareholder of MicroStrategy. I founded the company. I mean, there aren't that many CEOs that have more power than me. If I walked into a room and I ordered everybody in my finance team to convert over all the accounting systems and sell everything in Satoshis, right, and pay everybody in Satoshis, you understand that if everybody didn't quit on the spot, it would be a decade and $1 billion of work. And it wouldn't work. And by the time I finished the $1 billion of work, the company operation would go to zero, right? It's literally a death sentence for a big institution to attempt to convert over its mediums of exchange and its accounting systems